What you guys are seeing right now is me playing some game. I actually don't know yet. Uh, it's some type of game. It's probably gonna be Marvel Rivals or something. But I didn't have time to. I think I'm just gonna put these over my previous like gaming clips or something, and then just add them on top of each other in Premiere Pro or something. Yeah, something like that. Oh, sorry about that. That's my washer. It's my washing machine. Sorry. Um, I wanted to talk about the self because it's very important, and it's extremely important to know yourself and know how to act upon your thoughts, kind of ish. You know? Okay. Anyway, yourself is you, and you are yourself, and absolutely nothing will change that fact. And how you think creates how you feel. How you feel becomes an emotion. If you keep feeling that emotion and sitting in it and consuming it and letting it affect how you act, it becomes a magnet that will attract things to you, but also repel things away. Like manifestation. Okay, I think it's real. I think it's real. I think it's a real thing. Anyway, now a magnet has two sides, right? A negative and positive, and opposites attract. So a positive would go to the negative, and negative would go to the positive. Wrong. Kind of the opposite in this case, actually, because it's emotions, not a magnetic field. Let's say this emotion that you're feeling is positive, okay, and you're really happy, and sorry about that. That was my share. And you're letting these emotions consume you and affecting how you act towards people and things around you. When you feel positive and act positive and become an overall positive person, the emotions coming your way that are going towards you, that you have to prepare for, are that you don't have to prepare for because you don't actually know that they're coming towards you. You have no way of proving that. Um, that you have to anticipate. Let's say that. Anyway, yeah, the emotions that are coming towards you in those new experiences and new events will about 90% of the time, give or take, be positive. But the 10% of the time, give or take, aka the negative emotions that are coming your way, will stand out the most. When you transition to the new normal, the old normal becomes weird and vice versa. There are things that hold you back on this, though, I will admit. Um, okay, let's think of an example. Okay, let's say that you feel a strong emotion and you're letting it consume you and all that, but you're scared to act on it because we get anxious, we're human, it just happens. You eventually end up not doing it because that anxiety is something to do something is a negative emotion that has already secretly taken you over, and it's piloting your brain and making you think this thing I decided to not do it wasn't ever worth it in the first place, and I should really be worried about it. I should really be worried about, or no, I worded that wrong. This thing I decided to do is not worth it, and I should totally be worried about it for no actual reason. Dude, there is literally nothing to worry about. There is positively, absolutely nothing to worry about. Okay, people don't care. If you lay on the floor in the middle of McDonald's, the customers aren't going to yell at you, and the employee might tell you to get up, and the manager probably will yell at you after a while. But hey, who cares? Who like genuinely cares at the end of the day? Because at the end of the day, the manager isn't going to go home that day, lie in bed on their like, I don't know, their like 6-inch mattress, and think, oh, I really hated that person that lied on the floor today. I think I'm gonna track them down and completely kill their family. That's not gonna happen. It's just completely unrealistic, and like I'm not saying that you're a slave to your own emotions. Your actions are still your choice through your thoughts, and you know you still have control over your own life. And all of this only applies if you let a strong emotion take you over. If you feel like slightly disappointed towards something for a short period of time, you're not going to become a disappointed person because you aren't going to let yourself become a disappointed person. But back to there being nothing to worry about. You are the only other person, or no, you are the only person that you can prove is conscious. Because there isn't a way to prove consciousness other than finding the piece of the brain that harbors it that materialists believe, which hasn't been proven yet. I'm pretty like we have no way to prove consciousness at all. I'm talking to. For all I know, I could be the only one conscious, and this entire place could be a simulation, and I'm dead for some reason. like, uh, it's what's the point, right? But I still do it because I like doing it, and it's my choice to do this. It's it you know they're my thoughts, they're my actions, it's it's my consciousness. But you have no way of knowing that I'm conscious because you can't prove it. You can only assume because other people are human. But how can you prove they're human? Do they have or is humanity proven only by physical traits, or is it proven by consciousness? Because as far as we know, if assuming every human is conscious, humanity can be proven by consciousness as well as physical. They both have to align. But you know, if you're like an empty husk of a person, pretty much, you're a philosophical zombie. If you don't have any consciousness, you're a philosophical zombie. You know, how can we prove that anyone else is conscious like you? You know. Um, but anyway, this goes into like Schrodinger's cat. If you don't know what that is, it's a theory by Schrodinger. I forgot his other name. Um, that if you put a cat in a box and close the box, the cat is in a state in between being alive and dead, because it's not being observed. You know, or this, it could also go into that one saying that goes like, "Oh, if a tree falls in the woods and no one is around to hear it, does it make a sound?" Both pretty much say the same thing, which is, you have no way of knowing that other people are conscious like you. And since you have no way of knowing that, how can you prove that they, as a person, exists? I'm not saying that like, oh, I know people are gonna be like, oh, I can just go up and touch, I can go up and like touch their face, I know they're there. But how do you know that they are there? How do you know that the person in the mind, because the mind and the body are two different things. Um, I'm not talking about the physical mind is in the brain, but the consciousness that controls your thoughts. They're two different things. So how can you prove that are they are them? How can you prove that they're not just uh, a uh, a clone of them? Because a clone of a person isn't actually the original person. You know, like Ben Riley and Peter Parker. Like that, it's it. Ben Riley believed he was Peter Parker because he was a clone of him, but he's not the Peter Parker that we've been following this entire time. you know? So in that case, we can assume that the Peter Parker that we've been following this entire time is, the real Peter Parker, and Ben Reilly is the clone. But Ben Reilly genuinely believes that he is Peter Parker, and he has all the memories of Peter Parker. And I think that's how it is. I think he has the memories. Hold on, I'm gonna look it up. Yes, he does. Okay. Um. What's it called? Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, right? If oh my gosh, it's hard to explain this. I'm sorry. It's how can you prove that anybody that is not in your line of sight or you cannot perceive as of right now or as of in the moment exists? How can you prove that anyone outside of your perception exists? Do you guys understand? I feel stupid asking that because I'm talking to a microphone and I'm looking at a Word document I saved on my computer with a script. But can you, that was me tapping on my laptop. But like, it's hard to explain this because let's say you die, okay, uh, and your consciousness and all your memories, because you're nothing without your memories, um, or your consciousness is nothing without your memories. You are consciousness. Let me just get that straight. You are consciousness. You are your own consciousness. You are you are aware. You know, whatever. It, let's say you die. Your consciousness and your memories are all uploaded into this new body. Um, and or no. Yeah, all of your memories, not your consciousness, all of your memories are uploaded into this new body. That it's if since you're nothing without your memories, it's still not you because your consciousness isn't there. Consciousness, in my view, is it goes it works hand in hand. Okay, this is post recording twigs here. I want to make what I'm saying a little bit more, you know, intelligible, pretty much. So, as you're seeing, if you're even watching, I'm playing Spider-Man in Marvel Rivals, and I'm going against another Spider-Man. If my, if like, say, I die, okay, and they recreate uh, a new version of me, and they put my memories into that person, not into that person, but into that new quote unquote me. You know, it's not actually me because my consciousness isn't there. You know, or a good example is the movie Mickey 17. It's about these guys that are used as worker slaves, and every time they die, they get recloned with the same memories. And with this, Mickey 16 and Mickey 17, uh, Mickey 16 was presumed dead. Mickey 17 was made, and um, and now they have to interact with each other with the same memories. But Mickey 16, in fact, isn't even the real one. It's Mickey 1. It's like the first one, first one before they were ever even cloned. That is the real Mickey. Everything else is just a knockoff. That's pretty much what I'm saying. So yeah. Anyway, because you have no way of proving that they exist, people out of your perception exist, then why would you have anything to worry about? Because consciousness can't be perceived. So everyone is outside of your perception. So how can you prove that anything really matters? How what are you so worried about? Like, you worried about failing? Then fail and then try again. And failing is only a thing because the systems provided by the social norms have given you the idea of failure. You know, they've shown you that you can quote unquote fail, but nothing is a failure because we learn from our mistakes. We learn from our own actions. Therefore, we learn something which in and of itself is a win. You're constantly winning. You're a winner. All right? Anyway, um but your thoughts are only your thoughts unless you take action with them. So, you won't get anywhere without action because thoughts and action are two different things. And they work hand in hand. Nothing is exactly the same. Nothing is congruent inside the philosophy of someone's mind or anybody, you know. So there's a fly going around in my room. I don't know why. Oh wait, bars. Fly going around my room. I don't know why. That's so. It's terrible, actually. I should shut up. Um, but yeah. That's pretty much it. So, so yeah.